Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the KMN 1971 back at it once more with yet another comic book haul. Kicking it off this week, as I have been for the past several weeks, with some DC Rebirth B covers. For those of you new to the channel, basically my basic makeup of my comic book hauls, I try to incorporate as best as I can some Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, Modern Age, and some current books. And as far as the current books go, I don't include my entire weekly pull list, but I do include books that I think that are either A, hot, B, if you just let them sit in your collection for a while, there's potential down the road, or C, just overall, I think it's just really cool. So, kicking it off this week, Harley Quinn number 25, as well as Harley Quinn number 24 from my last comic book haul, which just features this fantastic Frank Cho connecting cover. I don't always buy all of the Frank Cho B variants in regards to Harley Quinn, but when he knocks it out of the park, man, he really knocks it out of the park. And I think that is the case with these two issues right here. So, fantastic. I hope you all like my new comic book box. I figured a little Alex Ross iconic art in between comic books would be kind of cool. Here we have Supergirl number 12, which is another case of DC Rebirth cover, B cover, that is just hot right out of the gate. Just like the Dolphin Middleton cover from a couple of weeks ago, or the Suicide Squad Alex Ross homage cover from a couple of months ago, or the Harley Quinn Victorian cover, Frank Cho black and white Victorian cover from a couple of months ago, or the Nightwing Batman and Robin homage cover. Some of these, there seems to be a trend forming with some of these DC B covers. Now, will they hold their value? Will they increase in value? Only time will tell. But in the meantime, that is just beautiful. And I read on CBSI that I don't know for how long, but Art Germ is supposed to be the regular B cover artist for Supergirl moving forward. So something to look forward to. A book that is not hot right now, but I figured to show it off anyway, just basically because Batman's my favorite character. This is my favorite title in my pull list, so as it has been for years. But this Batman B cover happens to be done by Neil Adams, who is one of the greatest Batman artists of all time, as most of us out there know. So anytime that Neil Adams is involved with anything that's Batman related that does not involve the title Odyssey, I'm all for it. So I thought this was very nice. Wonder Woman number 21, Jenny Frison B cover. And I thought I only needed issue number 17 to finish off this run, but I actually needed issue number 21 also. And these are basically, I know not to beat a dead horse, but these are really now really dried up in my area. There's a couple of stragglers out there of books that I already own, but that's about it. So if these are banging around in your area, I would snatch them up. Why not? A book that I just picked up yesterday, Batman and Robin Eternal number 26, and this is the first appearance of Cassandra Cain as Orphan. And I already own the first appearance of Cassandra Cain, the first appearance of Cassandra Cain as Batgirl, so why not pick up the first appearance of Cassandra Cain as Orphan? And I haven't actually read this yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I did not buy Batman and Robin Eternal when it initially came out, just because I was trying to avoid buying another weekly series. But looking forward to reading it, and really nice Tony Daniel cover, who has also become one of my favorite Batman artists. All right. So these next 8 books are all from the dollar bin. So I haven't had any dollar buys in a while, namely because there hasn't really been anything that's caught my eye, and B, I am finally starting to get these space issues in regards to my personal collection. So I've been a bit more selective of what I've been buying. So, but to find these books in the dollar bin, I was psyched. Not that it's anything crazy, but great buys for $1 in my opinion. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 346. and 347. And now I realize these aren't Todd McFarlane drawn issues. This is early Eric Larson work. But these are still early Venom appearances in the dollar bin in very fine to near mint minus shape. I'll take that all day long. In these next couple of books, this is kind of the Micronauts. So the Micronauts, this run kind of is on the same level as the Doug Moench, Paul Galassi run on Master of Kung Fu. Two classic runs that I want to collect, but only if I can find them in great condition and at an extremely low price. So I used to own almost this entire run of the Micronauts back when I was a preteen. It was one of the first books that I really collected all the way through. And I loved it. I loved the beginning of the series, and I loved the tail end of the series where it went like dark and kind of gritty. So, but the beginning of the series was, I believe the first 12 or 13 issues were done by the creative team of Bill Mantlo and one of my favorite all-time artists, Michael Golden. So to pick these issues up for $1 in VF condition, I will take that all day long once again. So number 4, 5, 6, 7. Nostalgic side note, this is one of the first comics that I can remember ever having in my possession. One of the first comics that my parents bought me. I remember they specifically let me pick it out off the spinner rack, but they were a little worried that I might be scared reading it, and I was. But looking back on it now, and till this day, I still look at this cover as just a classic Bronze Age. Number 9 and number 10. So great deal in my opinion for $8. Alright, I have a couple of variants to show. I haven't really been buying many variants as of lately. But I still follow my same philosophy. If I see a cover that I like, I am going to go out there and buy it. Period. I don't chase at variants, and like with the case with this, I will let them cool off a bit before initially going after them. So I was buying this volume of Deathstroke. I believe this is Deathstroke Volume 3. That was done by Tony Daniel, and then it featured out by Tony Daniel, and then later on Tyler Kirkham. So just for the pure eye candy, I was buying this title, and for my love of the character. But this was kind of a guilty pleasure. But I did not own this variant. This variant in particular was kind of hot for, several months ago when that Deathstroke footage emerged where he's allegedly going to make an appearance in Justice League or allegedly going to be the main antagonist in the upcoming Batman Live movie. So either way, I wanted this. So this has come back down to earth. It is nowhere near as hot as it was at that point, which is why I'm purchasing it now. So I paid $11 for this online, which I thought was a good deal until I saw a Longshanks video earlier on this week, which he ended up picking this up for only $5. Congratulations, man. But nevertheless, I'm still very happy to own this. Batman is, along with Wolverine, my 2 all-time favorite characters, and Deathstroke is definitely one of my top 10 favorite DC characters. So, very cool. I ended up getting these two as, like as a part of a deal. So both of these together came out to $20.50 shipped, and I'm pretty happy with it. Gamora number 1, which is the Lupacino variant, which I don't know much about Lupacino's artwork, but I did like the early Green Lanterns rather, DC Rebirth B covers, and I thought the artwork on Supergirl Rebirth number 1, the interiors were fantastic. So definitely an artist to look out for, and I am drawing a blank on as to who the artist is for All New Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, but this was one of those cases that I saw this book on YouTube, actually. Either, maybe it was the Doom or Alex the Comic Hoarder, but I instantly wanted it. So, $20.50 shipped, not the greatest deal, but not the worst deal either. I remember when this book first came out, it was probably like a $15 to $20 book, and this one was probably a $20 to $25 book. And the Virgin variant for it was probably $35 to $45 book. So they both come down. This is probably, I don't know, a $10 to $20 book at best, and this one's probably a $10 to $15 book at best. So, but being a big time Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I wanted them. And I am really enjoying the all new Guardians of the Galaxy, or as I like to call it, the Brian Bendis less Guardians of the Galaxy. So, very nice. A couple of stealth buys. Once again, nothing groundbreaking, but I haven't had any stealth buys in a while, so it's always good to snag them up when here and there when you can. So Marvel Age number 82, and this is the first preview appearance of Cable. I see on eBay a lot of people still advertising this as the first appearance of Cable, and that is just an alternative fact, my friends. And don't take my word for it. I mean, do your own research. Look up Marvel Age CGC grade for 82 slab, and do the same thing for New Mutants number 87, and come to your own conclusions. From a collecting aspect, I love these little previews. I like the Marvel Ages. I like the Malibu Suns with the preview of Spawn. The Absolute Vertigo, which has the preview of Preacher. What else was there? And the DC Sampler, which has the preview of Dark Knight and Watchmen. Those are all great little tidbits to have for fans, but they're not actual first appearances, so don't be fooled. So Marvel Age number 82, and I also picked up Marvel Age number 41. These are both very fine to near mint copies, and this copy right here of Marvel Age number 41 in particular, I didn't even know this book existed up until about a month ago. I forget who actually showed this book off first, but since last month I have seen it pop up in like 3 or 4 more videos. So and I bought it strictly for the cover of Stan the Man Lee, surrounded by some of his iconic covers and some of his greatest creations. So this book turns out to be kind of hot. I looked up what it's worth on eBay, and people are paying between $20-25 for it. So a book to keep an eye out for, and just based on the cover and who's on the cover and what it means to Marvel history, I see a lot of potential for this book moving on down the road. The Power of Warlock, number 3. Just another book working on my Adam Warlock Volume 1 run. So this gives me issues 1 through 3. I already own issues 9 through 15, so 4 more issues, and this volume is complete, 4 through 8. So, and those aren't really that pricey. Another Marvel Bronze Age series that I've been working on when I can. Iron Fist, number 6. And this has Iron Fist facing off against Colleen Wing, who happened to be my favorite character on the Netflix Iron Fist series. But as far as this series goes, I really like it. John Byrne from the 1970s and 80s is good with me. So I would like to collect this little short-lived Bronze Age series also. So number 6. And number 13, which might contain a cameo appearance of Sabretooth. I believe he's shown in the last panel of the last page in shadows. So I don't know if that constitutes as a cameo or not, but either way, cool book to own. Marvel Spotlight. And this is the first time that Moon Knight had his own comic. So, very nice. I would say this would normally be in a, very fine minus condition, but it does have a little bit of staining right there, but the main issues, which are significant, there seem to have been 2 drops of water on this comic. One right there, and one right there. I'm not sure if that could be pressed out or not, seeing it's water, but because I've heard that can actually expand the paper and it can't be pressed out. But if anyone knows, just please hit me up in the comment section. Either way, probably a fine minus copy of Marvel Spotlight number 28, but for $10, and considering it's the first Moon Knight solo story, I had to have it. Or Moon Knight solo comic, rather. A book that I said I would pick up in my last haul, and luckily I did. I ended up finding a very fine copy of Giant Size Werewolf, number 4, and this is just good old-fashioned Marvel Bronze Age fun. Morbius versus the Werewolf by Night. How can anyone not want a piece of this comic? And spoiler alert, Basically, they go at it twice, and Werewolf by Night is not in Morbius's league. Here's a book that I've been passing on for years, but it's been on my list, and I've been looking for a copy that was in a little bit better condition, but I ended up settling for this for $10. This is probably fine minus. Has a little chip right there at the bottom, and the main issue right here is someone wrote an 11/27 right near the number 4. So I'd say probably fine minus condition for $10. Still not a bad deal. This is the first appearance of Valkyrie, the hero, not the creation of the Enchantress from that issue of Avengers. Enchantress does end up bestowing the power of Valkyrie onto this woman, but I figured her alter ego, I'm sorry, but this was the incarnation of Valkyrie that I grew up reading, and that was a mainstay character in Marvel Comics for a couple of decades, and I still think to some degree still is, unless she has a different alter ego now or not. But yeah, very cool. Here's a book that I think is severely underappreciated. This is the Fantastic Four, number 125. And what's the deal with this book? What makes it cool, aside from being a very nice Fantastic Four issue from the Bronze Age? Well, this issue happens to be the very last issue that was penned by Stan the Man Lee. So this was the last issue of his 125 issue, 10-plus year run on the title. And I have to say, when I was flipping through this, there was no mention of it in the letters column whatsoever. No goodbye to Stan from the fans to the fans, or reminiscing of all the things that him and Jack and eventually John Buscema ended up doing on the title. But all that it was at the end of the book was next issue, a new beginning. That's it. So very little fanfare at all. I don't know if I'll have to pick up 126 to see if they make any kind of reference to it or not. But anyway, Stan Lee's last issue on the Fantastic Four, just a standard story, nothing really special about it. But I think historically is an incredibly special comic. Another book that I'm very happy to have, Fantastic Four number 74, more Kirby crackle, featuring Galactus and Silver Surfer. It's just awesome. I can't get sick of it. And I ended up picking this up. This is in a very fine minus condition for under $30. Psyched. And speaking of Kirby Galactus, Thor number 168. This is just fantastic. Look at that cover. And essentially this is, spoiler alert, but Odin sends Thor into space in search of Galactus as a punishment. And this is essentially the origin, or the first part of the origin of Galactus, done by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Oh yeah. And for the last book in this haul, and my pick of the week, Batman number 386. The first appearance of the Black Mask. Very psyched to have this. Being a huge Batman geek, I try to have all the major storylines and all the major first appearances. Not so much in the Bronze Age. I still have a lot on my list, but as far as the modern age Batman characters, I pretty much have them all. And this was the one character that I was missing on my list. I have first appearance of Harley, the Red Hood / Jason Todd, Killer Croc, Azrael, Cassandra Cain, the Huntress, just you name it. And not bragging, but that's just what happens when Batman is one of the staples on your pull list for a couple of decades. But this was before my time of collecting the titles, so it's a book that I've wanted, but I'm just surprised that it goes for as much as it does. I don't know why this goes for like more than, say, The Vengeance of Bane number 1, who I think is a more popular Batman villain. But I'm very happy to have it anyway. So Batman 386. That'll be it for this week. So I will see you all next week with another installment of my comic book collection spotlight. And it'll be focusing on my minor DC keys and first appearances, much like the last one where it featured my minor Marvel keys and first appearances. So that's all for this week. Thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff that goes around in the comic book community. And I will see you all later. Take care. See ya.